October 27, 1962. It is the most dangerous date in human history. It wasn't a grand assault or an invasion, but a tense silence. For 13 days, the world held its breath, caught between two superpowers, the United States and the Soviet Union. Both consolidated their power as superpowers, or giant states after the Second World War. The Cold War is characterized as a state of permanent tension between the two blocs that avoided direct conflict due to the danger of mutual assured destruction by nuclear weapons. Key strategies were containment, nuclear deterrence, and espionage. But in the Atlantic, a Soviet Foxtrot-class submarine was sinking into the depths, and with it, the planet's fate. History books tell us the crisis ended peacefully, with diplomacy. But what if a single decision, a single miscalculation had rewritten that ending? What if the Cuban Missile Crisis went hot? Ascending tension music. Title card. What if the Cuban Missile Crisis went hot? The clock stopped in 1962. The rigor of counterfactual history demands a plausible point of divergence. We seek to understand what did happen by conjecturing what did not occur. The best counterfactuals begin with plausible worlds that imply minimum changes to the real world. Our minimal rewrite point is found aboard the submarine B-59. Harassed by U.S. Navy destroyers near Cuba, its crew believed war had already begun. Inside, a tactical nuclear torpedo was ready to launch. To authorize the launch, 3 senior officers were required. 2 voted yes. The third, Commander Vasily Arkhipov, opposed it. His veto averted the global disaster. Our point of divergence. Arkhipov does not veto the order. The 15-kiloton nuclear torpedo is launched, pulverizing the USS Beale destroyer and all its crew. History's first nuclear attack on a U.S. warship has occurred. The clock has stopped. The response wouldn't be diplomatic. It would be automatic and immediate. Washington could not view this as a Soviet warning shot, but as a declaration of war. The Truman Doctrine, based on containment, has failed. The U.S. government would consider this a direct military attack. Stage 1, Retaliation in the Sea, and Cuba. The U.S. Navy launches a brutal conventional retaliation against Soviet submarines and any ships. Simultaneously, the Air Force mobilizes to destroy all nuclear missile sites in Cuba. Despite technological innovations in warfare, naval command in previous conflicts was notorious for its lack of tactical innovation. But in this case, necessity would drive speed. Stage 2. Soviet response in Europe. Moscow would not stand by idly. Post-revisionist historiography of the Cold War recognizes that the break was due to the essential antagonism between regimes and ideologies. The USSR responds by attacking key NATO targets in Germany and Turkey to level the playing field. Warsaw Pact forces clash with Western troops on the German border. Total war begins. Once the first nuclear missile hits European soil, there is no turning back. The logic of deterrence is reversed. The cold conflict has turned hot, breaking the pattern of limited contests confirmed by the Korean War. The combat decision cycle accelerates to an unmanageable speed. Early models of artificial intelligence, whose dawn emerged during the Second World War, could not have predicted the irrationality of the scale. Primary targets. Targets cease to be purely military and become strategic. Attacks on command and control centers, capitals, and industrial hubs. Both sides resort to massive nuclear armaments. War strategies like containment and persuasion utterly fail. Millions dead in the first hours. Entire cities are incapacitated. Casualties in this war would far surpass the tragedy of the Second World War, which recorded 35 million wounded and 3 million missing, not counting victims of undernourishment. The logistics of nations collapse due to the destruction of critical infrastructure. If a total nuclear war is assumed, the alternative timeline leads us to a grim scenario. Who wins a war where the goal is mutual destruction? No, an organized human life has ended. The difficulty of this counterfactual analysis is that it moves beyond the range of short-term predictions. The traditional powers are annihilated or reduced to failed states. Geopolitical power would shift to nations that remained outside the conflict, perhaps in the southern hemisphere. Civilization regresses drastically. The consequences include scarcity, famine, and undernourishment, a dramatic experience of refugees. This counterfactual exercise holds essential value. It helps us understand why peace actually happened in 1962. It seeks to elucidate why an event occurred, rejecting the idea of historical inevitability. The fear of annihilation was the control mechanism. Arkhipov decision proves that strategic leadership requires the capacity to evaluate the final consequences and prioritize survival over dogma, a quality found in Second World War leaders. The story of what did not occur is a warning. Today, in the age of hybrid warfare and cyber warfare, the threat of miscalculation persists. The 1962 conflict reminds us that even in maximum tension, meaningful human control and prudence are the only true shields. History is not inevitable. It is a series of decisions. And in 1962, thankfully, the right decision prevailed.